Hello yogis, welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year. If you have a yoga strap, keep it close by your mat. You can also use the strap that holds your yoga mat or a long rope. Anything like that will work. Begin sitting on your mat, either sitting on the heels in a kneeling position, or you can take bum to the mat cross-legged. Just start to tap into your breath and see how your body feels. When your breathing has slowed and the heart rate is slowed, prepare your body to match breath to movement. Inhale, circle sweep the arms up to the sky, and exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms back up to the sky, let the palms meet, and as we exhale, plant the right hand on the mat next to your hips and reach the left arm over to the right side. We really want to focus on opening the side body, so we're staying completely lateral here, chest open towards the top of your mat. Create steady breath. Be gentle with your body as we begin our practice, but really find that stretch. Inhale, right hand back up to the sky, and exhale, left hand to the mat, right arm reaching over towards the left. Keeping the right sit bone connected to your heel, really feeling the stretch all along the right side body, all the way up to your pinky finger. Inhale, left hand back up to the sky to meet the right hand. And this time as we exhale, we're going to cactus our elbows out wide, bending the arms, taking an arch in the back and going very slowly. Big exhale and bending the arms as if we could touch our elbows behind our back, opening up the front of the shoulder joint and the chest. Inhale to sweep the arms back up to the sky, and then take another exhale, cactusing out the arms nice and slow, opening the front body. From here, taking some cat and cow shapes, hands on our knees, we're going to round out the back and collapse the chest inward. And then as we inhale, opening up the shoulders, seeing if we can touch the shoulder blades on the back body. Exhale as we round out the back to a C curve, as if we could touch the shoulders in front of our body. And inhale as we open up the front body, pushing the shoulder blades together. So move between these two positions. We're putting extra focus on our shoulders and our chest. Just move fluidly with the breath. When you feel ready, finish up by taking some big shoulder rolls all the way forward, up by the ears, and then back down. Take right ear to right shoulder. You can place a hand on the side of the head to use some extra weight and stretch. You can also take the other hand to your opposite shoulder, sort of peeling the neck apart and feeling a stretch along the side, just using the weight of the hands. And then take the other side, left ear to left shoulder, and using the hands as extra weight to increase the stretch. Take a few rolls of the neck to either side, just letting the neck and spine move naturally and loosening up the neck in all directions. Interlace the fingers behind the low back and then push the fist towards the floor to straighten out the elbows, puffing up the chest and taking the gaze to the ceiling as you inhale, maybe even taking that fist behind you on the mat and pushing the mat away to open up the front of the chest, releasing the neck if that feels good. Leaving the arms as they are, exhale as you let the chest lead you forward, all the way down till forehead meets the mat in a child's pose here. You can keep the arms here, or if you want to increase this, see if you can push that fist closer up to the ceiling, opening up the chest and front of the shoulders. Create a steady breath here as you inhale into the stretch, and then on an exhale, release the arms and let them rest by your sides, coming back to the breath if you've forgotten it. Inhale as you sit back up, tuck the toes and take the bum high, straightening out the legs into a forward fold. You can keep a bend in the knee here to let the fingers reach the mat, wiggling out the hips, alternate bending and straightening the knees, and just doing what feels good. As we inhale to a flat back, we're going to flip the palms facing away from our legs, so facing the top of the mat. Come to a flat back position about halfway up, and then exhale to fold back down to the floor. Each time we inhale to our halfway lift, we're going to flip our palms out like that. It just reminds our shoulders to come away from our ears. Inhale as you roll to rise all the way up to mountain pose, head coming up very last, and make sure you're standing at the top of your mat. Inhale, puff up the chest, arch in the back, gaze to the sky, and exhale, forward fold, palms reaching towards the mat. Inhale to that flat back position, palms facing forward, back nice and long. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, inhale as you step back to a high plank, and on our exhale, we're going to take knees, chest, and chin to the mat, dropping the knees first, then the chest, and finally the chin, making a little speed bump. Untuck the toes, inhale as you roll the body forward into a cobra pose. Tops of the feet pressing into the mat and using the hands to support underneath the shoulders. And activating the back, see if you can lift the palms off the mat. Exhale to release everything and relax forehead to the mat. Inhale, pushing your way up via the knees, tucking the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Wiggle out anything you need to in your downward facing dog. Alternate bending and straightening each leg. Maybe rising up to the balls of the feet, rolling out the hips, doing whatever feels good, and then come to find stillness here. Reaching the heels towards the floor and aiming for a nice long flat spine from tailbone down to the wrists. Use this opportunity in stillness to come back to your breath and practice the ujjayi breath in and out through the nose, slightly constricting the back of the throat. From downward facing dog, walk the hands further away from the feet, about one more hand length. We're going to widen out the dog here, and this way we're putting a little bit more emphasis in opening the front of the shoulders. So we're still pressing the torso towards our legs, but this way we're really opening up the front body and the front of the shoulder. On an inhale, rise up to the balls of the feet and start to walk the feet up towards the hands. Exhaling your forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale to that halfway lift, palms facing out, nice long spine. Exhale to fold back to the floor. And inhale as you roll all the way up to standing in your mountain pose. Big inhale as you puff up the chest towards the sky, and then exhale to relax. Ground down into the right foot. Take hands to heart and bring the left foot up to modified staff, knee is bent. Inhale here, and as you exhale, push that left leg behind you into a warrior 3 position, hips staying square to the floor. And then slowly inhale, let that back foot touch down to the mat and rise up to a high lunge position. From here, we're going to take cow face arms. Right hand reaching down the back of the neck in between the shoulder blades, left hand coming from underneath behind the low back, and seeing if you can touch fingertips or even grab onto the fingers. If fingertips are too far to reach, this is where you can grab your strap or rope, drop it down the back of your neck, and use both hands to sort of inch your way closer to each other, coming to a point where you can really feel the stretch. From here, we're going to take the gaze to the sky, opening up the front of the chest, the whole front body, and really straightening through the back leg. staying deep in your lunge, activating the left glute to open up the front of the left hip. Inhale out of that slight back bend and drop your strap if you've been using it. Exhale here, inhale, bringing left knee back up to staff pose, shooting the weight forward, and exhale back into your mountain at the top of your mat. This time grounding down through left foot, lifting right knee into standing staff, and exhale into warrior 3, lowering the torso, straightening out the leg. Inhale, high lunge, slowly dropping the back foot and taking the arms high. Keeping the bend deep in the front leg, this time taking left hand down the back of your neck, reaching between the shoulder blades. Right hand comes from underneath, reaching for fingertips. Again, you can grab your strap and then taking the gaze to the ceiling. You can use the back of the head to really press against this arm, feeling that stretch in the armpit and all the way down the front body. Making sure your right leg is nice and straight. Don't forget to breathe. Remember, we hold the position, never the breath. Inhale as you bring the gaze forward, release the arms. Exhale here, and inhale back to standing staff, right knee high, hands to heart. And exhale, feet to the mat in your mountain pose. Inhale, reaching the heart to the sky, opening up the chest, puffing it towards the ceiling, and exhale to relax. Inhale, eagle pose, left leg crossing all the way over the top of the right, either wrapping around the back of the ankle or using the kickstand to the outside of that foot. Left arm wraps underneath the right, and we push the elbows up so we can really feel that expansion on the back between the shoulder blades. Bowing down if you feel stable, feeling even more openness in the back of the shoulders and the upper back. Inhale as you rise back up if you're folded, and release. Ground down and find your center in your mountain pose once more, and then peel right foot off the mat, crossing over the left this time. Right arm crossing underneath the left, and then wrapping the hands around, finding your balance. And then if you're feeling strong, bowing the elbows towards the knees, still rounding out the upper back, spreading the shoulder blades. Keep a steady breath here, and on an inhale, rise back up. If you're bowed down, release and find your mountain pose once more. Inhale, chest puff to the sky, and as you exhale, let the chest lead you down to forward fold. Inhale to that halfway lift, palms facing out, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step back to your high plank, and exhale, knees, chest, and chin to the mat. Inhale as you untuck the toes, roll the chest forward into your cobra. Maybe lift the hands from the mat, using the back to engage and lift the chest. Then relaxing the hands back down, pushing up via the knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few moments here to adjust and come back to the breath. Reaching the heels towards the floor, feeling those open shoulders strengthen. And then on an exhale, we're going to lower into dolphin pose. So you can take both elbows to the mat at the same time, or one and then the other. We're aiming to keep the hands where they are. In dolphin, we want our forearms to be parallel, but this requires very open shoulders. And while we've done a lot of that today, if you need to walk the hands a few inches inward, do that so that you can have a little bit more stamina in this pose as we hold it and strengthen our upper body. We're going to stay here for about 5 rounds of breath as we push our chest through our shoulders, aiming to press the torso against the thighs. You can keep the knees bent, but we are reaching the heels towards the floor just like in down dog, and really pushing up out of the floor with the elbows. If you need to take a break, come down to the knees and then come back up. Keep breathing. You're staying strong and doing amazing. On an exhale, lower the knees out wide, about as wide as your mat. Keep the big toes together and rest the bum on the heels into a child's pose. On an inhale, bring your weight back into your hands. Keep the elbows down, push up into that dolphin pose one more time. I promise we won't stay here too long this time. Just feeling that strength and openness in the shoulder before pressing up into downward facing dog. You can lower the knees first, or you can attempt to push through the hands and lift the hips higher into downward facing dog. Inhale to three-legged dog, left leg coming high. Bend that knee to nose and bring the left heel to the right wrist, resting into a half pigeon pose. To prepare our attempt at King Pigeon, we're going to just take a hold of the back foot any way that feels good and stretch the quad, opening up the front body. When you grab the big toe side with the same arm and leg, you really feel it open up in the front of the shoulder and stretch that way as well. Hang out here if this is enough of a stretch or as far as you'd like to go today. Or you can grab your strap and hook an end around the top of the foot, the ball of the foot, and then rotate that arm outwards, holding onto the strap, seeing if you can grab it with both arms, pulling the strap and therefore pulling that foot closer to your hands. If you're feeling confident with the strap, you can then attempt to flip the grip with hand and foot, taking the index finger to the pinky toe edge of the foot, rotating the elbow out and then upward, and then seeing if you can grab the arm or hand or even toes with the other arm as well. Keeping the hips square is essential for keeping your balance if you are in the bind. Whenever you are ready, you can release that foot and fold forward over the bent leg, relaxing into your pigeon stretch. Let the heart rate lower and let your breath settle here. Inhale to rise up out of the stretch using your hands. Press into the mat, tuck the back toe, lift the bent leg, and come back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, three-legged dog, right leg this time, lifting the heel towards the ceiling, then bending knee, bringing it forward, and placing the bent leg down into your pigeon on this side. Square off the hips, and then reach back, left arm for left foot, opening up the front of that shoulder and armpit. Staying right here if you choose, or you can take your strap, hook it around the ball of the left foot, and then grab with the left arm first, swinging the elbow out and then up, and reaching with the right hand as well to pull the foot a little closer to the hands, opening up the front body, keeping those hips square. You'll find that one side might be much more difficult than the other, so it's good to try on both sides just to see where your body's at. Release that leg whenever you'd like and settle down into the fold. Inhale to rise up out of the fold, pressing into the hands and back foot to lift the bent leg and come to downward facing dog, hips high. Take one last stretch here, wiggling out anything that feels necessary, and then bring the knees to the mat and sit back on the heels. I want to show you one last exercise I use for opening the shoulders and increasing range of motion. Take your strap or rope and grab with both hands about as wide as your yoga mat. Keeping your arms straight, inhale the strap up and over your head and down your back without bending your arms. If you need to widen your grip, do so that you can do this without flaring your ribs and without bending the arms. Inhale it up and exhale it down the back. Then inhale it up from the back overhead and exhale it forward. Do this about 5 to 10 times and then see if you can move your fists a little bit closer together, keeping the arms straight each time and only having that motion in the shoulder. This has helped me a lot with my shoulder range of motion. I hope you've enjoyed today's flow. Let's take one more breath together. Inhale the arms up over the head and exhale hands to heart center. Thanks for flowing with me. Namaste.